How's that, Robert?
How's that?
Holding the sword there.
Oh, yes.
Across the top here. How are we going to get that up there?
Sir Elmer.
There? Yeah.
A week-long gathering of men took place at the Findhorn Foundation, a spiritual community in the north of Scotland. The purpose of the group was to learn how to become more effective mentors for young men.
So that's the point.
The event also marked the launch of the mentoring project, A Band of Brothers.
2 fingers, yes. If not, you might be okay. But just check.
Well, if you think about communities and the safety of communities, they're most sort of at risk through unsocialised young men, really. And community is most broken in the male line. You know, there's a mutual suspicion that goes on between generations of men. The young men feel disconnected from the older men. They feel resentful towards them sometimes, particularly if they hadn't had a meaningful connection with an older man, an adult man. And the older men feel fearful of the younger men and their kind of aggressive energy. And the hard-earned wisdom of these men is not getting passed on.
If we bring that one to about here and then put a short plank across.
Okay, but he's going to need to have a comfortable seat because he's been sitting for a couple of hours.
Throughout the world, over history, cultures have put enormous resources, intellectual and financial, into creating rites of passage for young males in order to prevent the young male's aggression, which is not yet aided by wisdom or love, from destroying the community.
Working together, the men create representations of key parts of a story.
So do you want an entrance here?
Here and now we have the opportunity where men realize that they have the capacity within them, deep in their own archetypal potentials, to become the kind of men that these young men need.
And then we'll have the 4.
And then we start the story when? When do we start the story?
After the king input.
Core dilemmas that men face are touched on by the telling of the story of Parsifal.
He failed to put the question that would have freed the rich fisherman from his pain.
But I didn't know. No one told me. I would have asked. I wanted to ask, but I had been told not to ask questions. A man who was as a father to me counselled me against it.
And do you only do what you are told?
When stories are told, mythic stories, stories that have some kind of wisdom in them, are told, they become what we call psychoactive. So they actually, it's like kind of throwing a little stone into a pond and there are ripples. And what we do is we work with the ripples, effectively. We see if we throw the stone of the Parsifal story or Henry V in the leadership work, into a pond, what ripples, what nudges, what do people start to want to talk about or think about?
That must be made of stone. Do you lack all compassion, wretch?
The sense is that this story becomes a mirror for them. And that's what we use the theatrical metaphor and the stories for. So just to hold a mirror up so that men in this instance can really have a look at who they are.
But he's also killed a man.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure why he's killed a man.
I don't know. He's not sure either. All he knows is he wanted the kit.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not donned the red armour is stepping into the anger.
We've just had the call. We signed up to this mission we don't know, and here you are as mentors to also teach us what you know.
Up to now, the usual answers I've found have been female inspired, the usual routes of heart discovery and offloading the heart and discovering our wounds, but I never thought that men could be so inspiring in their uniqueness.
There's a familiarity and a bond and a brotherhood, a camaraderie that I get when I'm in this company of men.
I guess as a boy, you aspire to very grandiose things, a footballer or pop star, but then what happens after that? Who am I when I realise I'm not going to be a famous pop star or footballer? And then it's the real search for just what being a man is.
We have to be able to work together and for a bigger aim than just about our individual self, and that's what a rite of passage is really all about. A learning that it's about not just about me, it's about the collective around me, the community around me. I think quality of life somehow is connected to community. What we're trying to do with this project is build community in a really real way, in a very real way. Actually, bring generations of men together. That kind of social capital will be a great asset for the future. And I think that's something we need to be thinking about now very seriously.
But we need organizations now which focus on this mentoring task with young men, but who don't think that this can be run like a machine. It has to be run, it has to be led by men of accomplishment in their own understanding of psychological and spiritual issues.
So we're looking back at what our lives, we're examining ourselves, we're getting some honest feedback from other men, and we're trying to prepare the men who can meet the boys, because it doesn't matter. You need the men before you can get the boys. So that's what we're working at here.
Okay. Erect the
upbeat goals. Erect the phallus. We've got that big barrier that is leaning against something. That one there should be shifted down here. We've still got movement. There's the standard now. So we can use that anyway.